Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Bluegrass Life, where we take you deep into the heart of Kentucky, one small town at a time. I'm here in gorgeous Somerset, Kentucky, where it's home to Lake Cumberland, the houseboat capital of the world, and the Master Musicians Festival, two icons that are attracting music lovers, outdoor enthusiasts, and curious travelers from coast to coast. Let's kick things off with one of the most talked about summer festivals in the state, the Master Musicians Festival. It's happening July 11th and 12th right here in Somerset, Kentucky. From Grammy winners to Kentucky originals, this is a music event with soul, style, and a whole lot of heart. Joining me is Tiffany Finley. She is the executive director of the Master Musicians Festival. She is the woman behind the music. And it's so great to talk with you once again, Tiffany. Congratulations, 32 years.
Yes, we're going into our 32 year.
I mean, you guys have the prestige as being the longest running music festival in the state. That's quite an honor.
Yes, I think that is true, and we're going with that because I don't know of any other that has been going on as long as ours.
You know, take us back through kind of the origins of this festival. I mean, we have festivals that are popping up, every year that are fresh and new, but to have that kind of longevity really speaks to what you all and what the founders said, this is what we want this to be, and this is what we want this to be in Somerset.
Yeah, so in 1994, a bunch of community members got together and they wanted to bring arts and culture to rural Kentucky. That is our mission. We're a nonprofit, and that's really, to this day, what our mission is. So they got together, they created this music festival, and over the last 32 years, it just keeps growing and growing, and the community keeps getting more on board with it. And it's a really special event for our community.
So special that you have kind of purpose behind the name. Explain the Master Musicians Festival, what does that mean? And what does that say about the quality of the talent?
So we're always going to honor someone that is excellent at their craft. So whether that was Willie Nelson, John Prine, Dwight Yoakam, Winona Judd, just a couple of years ago, we are going to honor those people that have been in this business for a really long time, but then complement them with our up-and-coming artists and the Kentucky artists that are inspired by those people.
When you just said those names, I had chills. Right?
That's wild.
That is huge to have the names you just mentioned right here at that festival. Do you have to take a moment sometimes to look back to say, okay, I just said John Prine, Dwight Yoakam, Willie Nelson, Winona Judd. Tiffany, that's incredible for any festival. What do you think the reason is behind why that caliber of talent love to come here and play?
I think it's just our festival in general, just where the community gets involved. They have heard that it's a legit festival and that they are going to be taken care of, and our whole community gets involved with it, and it's just special because it's kind of like a boutique festival. So you're going to be able to come, bring your chairs, bring your picnic, have the kids running around. You're not going to feel like you're elbow to elbow with other people, and I just think that our tradition and our longevity, once we were able to get a couple of bigger artists, then you can use that to be able to secure other large artists. But it is very special. I mean, I remember standing out front of the stage when Winona was playing, and it just had all these memories of me being a little girl listening to the Judds and thinking, wow, she's standing right there in front of us. And that's when I always have to take a step back and be like, wow, we did this as a board, as a community. This is very special.
And Winona, she's big. Willie, huge.
Yeah.
But they are so true to their roots and to rural communities. Don't you feel that when they come into this town and play for that audience?
Yeah, and especially when it's a Kentucky artist. So that I feel like this year with the Kentucky Headhunters, it's going to be the same thing, because Kentucky music community, they just love to support other Kentucky musicians. So that's always, you can just feel a little bit more specialness in the air when it's a Kentucky artist.
Well, you mentioned the Kentucky Headhunters.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the lineup, honoring them, and who else is taking the stage.
So our headliners, Jamey Johnson this year. He is it's really kind of funny because the kids in this town are really excited because that's who they see as who I would think is Waylon Jennings or Willie Nelson or Merle Haggard, they see Jamey Johnson in that light because that's who was around when they were younger. So it's fun to see the kids get really excited about Jamey Johnson this year.
And the Kentucky Headhunters, you're
Yes.
honoring them. They have to be thrilled
Yes.
to be honored because they're just an authentic, humble group.
Yes. Yeah, so I saw them get or they were at the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame induction this past year, and actually got to talk to them right before we put the offer in. And they had been, they were excited because they knew about the festival. They'd wanted to play, but sometimes it's all about timing and when is the right time to honor that person. And this year, we just really felt like it was time.
Another thing that you've kind of pulled into this festival is that you're truly honoring that Kentucky talent. So there's an opportunity not only to see those big names, but up and coming talent, which I think is so exciting because they're kind of on the verge. And I feel like more than ever in Kentucky, we have this pool of young talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you must had to look around and say, how do we narrow this down?
Yeah. Well, that was the cool thing about this year, because you are right. All of these younger people are coming out of the woodwork because of artists like Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, Chris Stapleton. They've just inspired this whole other, and they're proud to be from Kentucky. So we've, for a long time, have filled our stages with Kentucky artists, but what's great about this year is the Somerset artists that are going to be highlighted on those prime spots. So to get to see Hunter Flynn and Cody Lee Meese up there right before the headliners in front of those huge, 5,000 people crowds, and give them the moment they deserve, because just because they're from Somerset doesn't mean they don't deserve that spot. And it's going to be a really cool moment at the festival this year.
And you've mentioned this before. What is so cool about a lot of these up and coming artists, they are so excited to give the thank you to their hometown, right? They are so excited to play their hometowns. They are so excited to give back to these small rural communities. Why is that?
I think that goes along to, I would say, with the whole Tyler Childers movement. Appalachians have never been more proud to be from this state. Like, you used to have to go to Nashville to make it in country music, but now it's cool to be from Kentucky and be authentic and your country because you grew up country, not just because you drive a truck and sing about girls. It's what is it about Kentucky that makes your music real, and how you grew up in the coal mines or in West Kentucky. You just really feel more connected, and it's a more authentic sound.
And authentic in their storytelling,
Yes.
right? They're just pouring out their hearts to share those stories through their music.
Yeah, and you'll just sit there and cry because that's their story.
You're on the same Instagram feed as me, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll listen to one thing and I'm like, well, am I crying right here? Right? But to see that in person. A lot of travelers these days and tourists are looking for events that are rooted not only in music, but heritage and community. How do you all make sure to put Kentucky front and center and make sure that you're welcoming in those travelers and kind of giving them a true Kentucky experience?
Well, we just make sure our festival, although it is a larger festival, we make sure that we stay true to our roots with our community. When you walk in our front gate, I'll never forget, before I was even involved in our festival, I walked in the front gate and I felt like I was a movie star. Like the gate, the people, the volunteers just made me feel so welcomed and like, hey, thank you so much for being here. And you don't get that at larger corporate festivals. So we just make sure that we do things for the community at the festival. We have our roller derby team tending our bar for tips for their organization. We have the football teams come in and set up, break down. Everywhere you look, there's a different community member giving their time, money, resources to make our festival successful. So it feels very Somerset, Kentucky, but you're seeing these bigger artists. So we highlight the things that are important to us. So the Virginia Theater sponsors our bar. So we have that branding where when you're there, you feel like you're in. They might not go to the rest of the city while they're here, but they'll get our city feel at the festival.
You're also doing a lot to make sure that the next generation gets excited about what you're doing and what you're creating and wants to be a part of the next generation of the Master Musicians Festival. How are you doing that?
Yeah, so you don't go 32 years without making sure that the young people are excited about the festival too, because I'm not always going to be here. My board that that is serving right now are not always going to be there. We're just kind of taking care of the festival right now and making sure that it lasts for the next generation. So we started a next generation program where we have sponsors sponsor our graduating seniors at Pulaski, Southwestern, Somerset. Give them a free ticket. Let them come to the festival. Let them feel the pride of the festival, because a lot of people in this town still haven't even came to the festival. So when you get them out there, they're like, wow, we can have something like this in our town. I might come home every single summer to see my friends, and this is kind of like a homecoming that we can be part of for the years to come. And then hopefully one of them will fall in love with it and take, board seats one day or take my place.
And it also probably helps keep talent here. You don't want talent going away to Tennessee or South Carolina, or North Carolina. Yeah. If they see that there's an opportunity here in Somerset, they want to seek that here and stay.
Yeah, it's all about, it works perfectly with our economic development and our tourism. It's all about quality of life. And if these factories or industries can recruit people and say, we have a music festival here, we have beautiful places like where we're at right now in our town, their families are going to want to move here and have that quality of life.
How would you describe the vibe of the festival? Family friendly, food trucks, kind of, as you take kind of if you think back like in years past, what are kind of those key things that you're like, this are the extra things that keep people coming back?
Yeah, definitely the food. People are always like, and we have a lot of the reoccurring food, and we always throw a couple of things in, but people are always excited about those food trucks. The 13 food trucks that we have, we make sure that no one does the same thing. But, I love going and grabbing my fried Oreos. I go sit in a little pocket of the festival where no one knows me, and I sit there and watch. I want to feel like a fan too, right? And just sit there and feel the magic. But it is magical. Like, we got lights now. It's so beautiful out there, and just kids running around. And even if you're not into music, people are coming out there and just being part of the community. So I would say just community magic, maybe.
Well, I know you are a fan first. As you look back upon the festival, are there moments that still give you goosebumps today that you can't believe I'm front and center for this?
Yeah, definitely a couple of things. The year Willie Nelson, because it was a big deal to get Willie Nelson. He was way more than budget-wise than we had ever spent before. We're like, are we going to be able to pull this off financially? And there was just this moment when the person was on stage right before Willie. I'm just standing in the middle of the field, in the middle of everyone, and all of a sudden we see Willie Nelson's bus pull into the festival field, and the road goes right next to the crowd, and his bus is very infamous, and everyone knew it was his bus. And the opener stops and says, mid-song, and says, "Say hello to Willie, everybody," and the whole crowd stands up and erupts. And I mean, I'm still get chills like thinking about it, because I was just in the perfect spot to like be like, you know what, this is all worth it. This was all worth it. I don't care if we make a dime off of this festival, if we get to bring that joy to our festival goers and our community.
That you will never forget.
I'll never forget it. No.
Tickets are still available, but they kind of in tiers start to go up the closer to the festival that we get. Yeah. What do people need to know about getting their tickets while they can, or even just like what is a first timer's experience here?
Well, it really helps out music festivals if you get your tickets earlier. That's why they do these discount tickets, because it helps us plan. It helps us plan like how many porta potties to have, or how much food to have, or make sure we don't run out of stuff. So the reason festivals do those discounted tickets is so that we can encourage you to buy early. So really would appreciate it if people go ahead and buy their tickets. I promise you'll have a good time. And but yeah, just at our festival anyways, you can bring your picnics in, leave your alcohol at home. We have our bars set up and everything, but we try to make it comfortable, and just come to have fun. Good vibes only.
And if you had a total wish list of artists in the future you would love to snag, who would it be?
John Fogerty is somebody I've wanted for a really long time. I think he's very important to honor. Hopefully one day we'll get him. I would love to have a Sheryl Crow. Red Clay Strays is a newer, more current band. I would love to have them. I mean, we've gotten a lot of the bands I've wanted, so I'm not going to be selfish, but John Fogerty is one I'd love to have.
All right, tickets still available. For more information, just head on over to mastermusiciansfestival.org. Just minutes from the festival grounds is another star of the show, Lake Cumberland. With more than 1,200 miles of shoreline, world-class fishing and boating, and million-dollar views, it's no wonder this lake welcomes over 4 million visitors each year. To help break down why this lake is becoming a national hotspot is Michelle Allen. She is the executive director of Lake Cumberland Tourism. Michelle, the numbers do not lie. You've helped put the lake on the map in a really big way. The numbers break down, and I have to always double check them. 4 million visitors recently?
And it's probably more than that. We just can't calculate them all. So yeah, 4 million visitors a year, but we also have to think about it. It's during the summer season. So imagine when we have other things coming to the community like horse soldier bourbon or whatnot, that number is going to be all year round and increase because we'll be on the bourbon trail then.
Lake Cumberland spans over how many counties now?
5 counties.
How many miles of shoreline?
We have over 1,200 miles of shoreline, more than the state of Florida, not coastline, but shoreline. And so that means you can find a cove of places with people you want to see, or you can find a cove and not see somebody for days.
So many people from surrounding states have discovered Lake Cumberland. Really, would you say that goes back to COVID when people were seeking outdoor adventure, and then something I feel like has changed recently where even more visitors, if that's possible, are just, why do you think there's magic here at Lake Cumberland that's attracting people, and what do you think has them coming back year after year?
So it's always been like your northern Ohio, Indiana kind of area has been our loyal customers, I guess you could say, our loyal travelers that have been coming, but now we're getting from all over the place. And you mentioned COVID. COVID, of course, hurt everybody. But when there were some communities that were down 60%, we were just down 30% because we had all this great outdoor adventure. Instead of going to Florida, people would say, hey, we've heard of you. We're going to stop midway and come to you instead. So it was actually worked well for us because once they got here and saw our great downtown, our lake, our outdoor adventure, and how they were treated by the people of Somerset, Pulaski County, they came back.
Mm-hmm. And they keep coming
back.
They
keep coming back.
What do you think sets this lake apart from maybe other lakes in neighboring states?
One is its size, how it looks, how people are treated, that we're not too combined. We have over 10 marinas on this lake, but it takes you a little bit to get to each one, except for a few of them are our neighbors. And, honestly is the number of people that come that are from different places, not just from Kentucky, from all over the place. So you get to meet new people every time you come and visit the lake.
It's one thing just to have a boat and be on the lake, but then let's talk about all the activities that can happen on
Absolutely.
the lake. And you all are really kind of building that out and making that accessible to so many people. Like if you don't have fishing gear, we have fishing gear.
Absolutely.
You don't have a houseboat, we have houseboats. Talk about what you've created as far as experience goes to make it easy just to come here and do all these events, even if that's not your hobby or not something that you're bringing all your equipment.
So I have to give it to our entrepreneurs. We've got a business called Lake Cumberland Water Sports. And if you don't know how to ski, if you don't know how to wakeboard, if you don't know how to surf, and you've just wanted to try it one time, they can take you out there to do it. They also provide a camp for kids. So if you want a few days away from the kids on the lake but want them to go somewhere safe and to learn something new things, you can do that too. We also have things like our poker run that happens in September. We have a thunder run that happens in June. And July 4th, you always can go to any marina and find music and fireworks. It's almost like, which fireworks are we going to go to this year, because everybody provides so much across the lake in the 5 counties.
I'm sure they get competitive about who has the better fireworks. And
yes,
which
I'm
marina
sure they
and which
do.
cove.
And I think they call each other to say ours is going to be this day or this day. When are you going to have yours? And what a wonderful opportunity for everybody to come here, because you don't have to search for the great fun.
With the poker run being in September, does that kind of keep tourism flowing after Labor Day, where people decide, wait a minute, the weather's pretty good here up until almost November. Why don't we just stay, or why don't we come back and plan that trip after Labor Day?
Absolutely. We always like to say Memorial Day is the start, and then some say that Labor Day would be the end. Then others will say the poker run, because it's the very next weekend after Labor Day, is the end. I always say the end of October, just like you mentioned, because That is my favorite time of the water. It is my favorite time because it's not too hot. It's just right. And things kind of slow down. You've got great things going on at that time in downtown as well. So I always say the end of October is probably when the season somewhat ends.
Do you credit like part of the success of the growth of Lake Cumberland to the partnership that you have with the city? Because a lot of lake communities, it's just the lake. And there's nothing else to do. That is not the case here.
Absolutely not the case. Just like where we're at right now at the Emerald Hound, it's new for us. It's great for us to be able to have something different in our downtown, but it's also where people are on the lake. What if it rains? What do you want to do at night? So we have to make that collaboration work between all of us to say, hey, we've got this great downtown too, or where are you going to eat, or where are you going to sleep? So this opportunity that we have that matches Somerset with the lake, it goes beyond anything we could have ever hoped for, especially in the last 5 years with the growth of our downtown. Mixing that with our lake, people are like, okay, not only do you have this, but you've got this, this, and this, and it just makes a great package for us to be able to display to any visitor.
I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about where we are here at the Emerald Hound, because this just opened brand new,
Yes.
beautiful jazz venue. And the way that you kind of described it with excitement, I can only imagine when you're out on the lake, that's the kind of conversation that you want people to have.
Absolutely.
Hey, have you been to this place? And let's go check out some live music.
Absolutely. And even in the downtown, you can park and walk everywhere in our downtown. Specifically for the Emerald Hound here that we are today, it's different than anything we have. It's different than we have anything that we have as far as Lexington can go, or to Tennessee that we have. It's a nice place, and I hate to say this, I'm a little bit older, where my crowd, I'd like to say, likes to go to dinner somewhere downtown and literally walk here and have a nightcap and listen to some beautiful music, and it's just relaxing. Even, just enjoying your time with your friends after the lake, then honestly going home, going to bed.
You mentioned it's the community that makes people want to come back again and again. Do you find that more and more travelers are seeking places that are rooted in heritage, rooted in safety, rooted in a sense of community that attracts them, in addition to restaurants, music, lake?
They can find that everywhere. You can find your places to eat, you can find your places to sleep, you can find lakes in other parts. They're not as good as ours, but community is really what draws a lot of folks together, to see that, for one thing, that we all work together and that we are so proud of the place that we come from. I am so excited to go to travel anywhere else and say I am from Somerset, Kentucky, because it is a beautiful place to raise your children. It's a wonderful place to visit, and who doesn't want to come here? It's too easy.
Part of your job is not only the lake, but the county
Yes.
as well. Are you seeing more people will visit for the lake and stay for the community, or word of mouth has gotten around where this is a good place to do business? Like, I want to bring my business here.
They can see, say for instance, Haney's Appledale Farm, that's located on West 80. They've been here for over 100 years. You can go and take your family and enjoy that time outside of the city limits, and then think, wow, if they've lasted this long, maybe there's an opportunity here for me to be able to bring something new to the community, whether it's in downtown, whether it's on the lake, or whether it's somewhere out in the county.
Somerset's location so close to Lexington, Nashville, Knoxville, not too far. Are you having more people from Tennessee that are visiting here now?
Yes, and not necessarily Knoxville. Some of them
Yeah.
do. We get our fishermen from Knoxville, but a lot from Nashville, actually, because the hustle and bustle going on in Nashville. They want to get away from it, and we're really 2.5, 3 hours straight shot to us, easy to get to. And once they get here, they can breathe and not be in the traffic that they've just fought out of, and just enjoy their time here. And we're just enough alike, but just enough to be different to make them feel like they're on vacation.
So Nashville's growth has helped fuel your growth.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And you would never think that. You wouldn't think a downtown big city would ever have anything to do with us. But where those people live there, where are they going to go? They want to go somewhere different than what Nashville has.
What is your background that brought you here, and what has been like your best moments looking and saying, celebrating the success of this region? You're born and raised in this
I
area.
am not.
You're not born and raised.
I'm actually an Air Force brat. but I've been here long enough to say I'm born and raised.
I don't think I know this story.
Yes. Started I came here in elementary school. My mother's from Holland. It's all this stuff. I went to Eastern Kentucky University, started work at Renfro Valley Entertainment Center in Rockcastle County, and then came here and worked for our Congressman Rogers for his tourism initiative that covered 47 different counties. So I've been in the tourism industry for 25 years. A long time. And I will tell you, when you talk about the highlights of things, I will love to retire from the position I'm in right now. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of selling. It is a lot of everything. But when I see places like this place come to town, or like I mentioned, Horse Soldier Bourbon, or you've got great relationships with Bear Wallow Farm, you feel that community coming together, and that makes my job fantastic.
Do you feel like there's something different in the water, so to speak, now more than ever?
I do. I mean, in the last 5 years, where we've got a mayor that believes in our downtown, we've got a judge that loves what we're doing here in the community and helps without the county and understands tourism. Yeah. That's very important. Got an economic development association that brings us all together. If there are people from all over the world, honestly, traveling and coming and hearing about us, we've got to be doing something right.
And like you said, you've got leadership in place. And do you think that kind of makes all the difference in the world, that the leadership you all have is saying, now, wait a minute, we got people that are leaving large cities, seeking out, I always call it like the rise of rural. I feel like there is kind of something going on all across America where these rural towns, your historic Main Street, your historic town centers, your historic fountains like you all have, are really kind of coming together in a way that we haven't seen, I don't think, in decades.
No, we haven't seen in decades. The way it starts, and having leadership that understands, I always call it the living will. Somebody comes and visits your place and they've enjoyed it, they loved it, then they want to come back and they see that, oh, there's an opportunity to, maybe make a little money, become an entrepreneur. So then they're giving back to the community, and then it all starts over again with that visit, and then we're moving, and then we're starting our own business, and there's people shopping with me or staying with me, whatever it is, and it's a continuous wheel. And when you have leadership that understands, it does start with one person, and it starts with a great visit and great hospitality that can lead into so many other things. It's just the perfect picture.
Do you hear a lot of stories like that?
I do.
Yeah. And that has to make you think, okay, we're doing something right.
And the crazy thing is I can be sitting in my office and hearing up front a visitor come in and hear a different language. And I'm like, where are they from? I've got to go up here and see who they're from. We've had Australia and England and all kinds of places come into our little old office in Somerset, Kentucky, coming to visit our community. So we couldn't be any more prouder.
Well, what do you do next?
What else? It's not all hunky-dory all the time. Yeah. We've still got to get the word out of there. We just recently had a tornado to come through, and folks wonder if we were still open, if things were still available, and everything that you've ever wanted is still here, fortunately. And we're always trying to find the next. We're always trying to find the next big thing. But I will say, we don't want to get too big. We don't want to be, some people are like a Gatlinburg. No, thank you. No, we like... That's what keeps us a community. We love our lake, we love our downtown, and we love the folks that live here.
Okay, don't you retire anytime soon.
Oh, I can't.
No. Don't leave us anytime soon.
No, I can't. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, Michelle, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whether you're here for the music or the lake life, Somerset certainly delivers. So definitely add this southeastern Kentucky town to your bucket list travel. Big thank you to Tiffany Finley with Master Musicians and Michelle Allen with Lake Cumberland Tourism. To get your tickets, go to mastermusiciansfestival.org and LC Tourism to start planning your Kentucky getaway today. And until then, we'll see you soon.